Okay, so you have the hammer back. Okay, so what are the things that we have to knock down? Tom wants to talk to
Blink.
Blink, and we just got to get Hannibal on the ship, and then you guys are good, right?
Patrick might want to look at his botany lab.
Oh, yes. It's up to Patrick.
That is up
Oh,
to him. I just figured
yes.
I'd
Yeah,
toss
bring
that
that
out
on.
there.
Yes, I probably should check out the, what I remember, hidden botany.
Yeah, in a way. I'd say more secluded than
Okay.
hidden, but that
Yes.
works. Okay, so I don't know if you recall, Piff, or not, but I believe Johanna told you to talk to Vadpo in regards to this, right?
Uh,
I'm
Probably.
not saying right. I'm just saying. I know that's what she said because
Okay.
I made her say it. so,
Okay.
so that is in your hands then to approach Miss Vadpo.
Uh,
Actually, you know what? It's up to you. We can do a quick little roleplay conversation, or we can just talk about it.
um, uh, let's just do the role play.
Okay,
I
sure.
don't see it going on too long, so it should be
Of
fine.
course not. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's nail that down then.
Mm.
Um. So, of course, at the Bright Little Stars Refuge, Vadpo's there. Her bruise is still prominent, but after a little while, she's able to get back and continue her duties with the um, calm demeanor of a martyr, for lack of a better word. Um, so yeah, you can approach her at any time.
Right. Um, uh, Patrick will approach her and try to get her attention.
You're able to grab it, no problem.
Okay.
She gives a little polite smile at you, looking at you through slitted eyes, one even tighter due to the bruising. And she says, "Yes, yes."
Hi. I uh was told by, I cannot remember her name.
Johanna.
Johanna, thank you. That you may know where um a bio lab, a place where to grow plants would be.
She gives a bit of a bright smile, the first one she's kind of genuinely had since the recent attack. And she goes, "Oh, you spoke with Johanna?
Yes.
Oh, when? Where is she? Is she back on the station?"
She's currently ill, and she's
Oh,
uh in a uh not sure, would it Inferno, would
yeah.
it be called a hospital in this place, or would it be like an infirmary, or
Either words work.
okay. She's currently in a hospital in one of the farther stations.
Oh, oh dear. Is she? Oh, that's awful to hear. Is she going to be all right? Do you know?
I I hope so.
Oh,
She assured me that she would be.
I see. Well, yes, yes. She told you about her old facility, her old laboratory.
Yes.
I see. Well, to be honest, after she left, we had to use a lot of the resources to keep the refuge up. Although I can direct you to where it is or where it used to be, it should still be all right. In fact, and she gestures over to Sinan. She gives Sinan a little squeeze on the shoulder, and she tells him some coordinates, which are about 2 floors or 2 levels, more specifically, 2 levels almost directly below where they are. And she gives further instructions about moving certain panels and reconnecting certain wires. And he listens to it all. And of course, you hear it as well, right?
Hmm.
And she says, Simon will guide you to where it is. I'm afraid we haven't really, I haven't even been there in 10 years, but if she trusts you with that space, it's all yours.
Oh, I'm sure to take good care of it.
Good. So Simon does indeed guide you. It's about 2 floors down. It's only a 2-minute journey, not even, and the path is pretty darn direct. And it appears this section, this old laboratory, is behind about 3 separate panels, or I guess you could say false walls, in Outcast Station itself. And after a very simple wire, an exposed wire is reconnected, lights light up in this facility. It itself, the entire square footage, is very similar to the Bright Little Stars Refuge itself. In fact, it's a good 100 feet long and nearly 50 feet wide. Unfortunately, the sheer space of it is probably the most positive aspect. Although it does look like there are several old pieces of equipment, they all look like they have been inactivated for quite some time, and in fact, half of them look like they've sustained some sort of damage. One of them looks like it's been vandalized, while another looks like there's been some sort of battery leak, and the acid of the battery itself has completely stripped and damaged many internal mechanisms. Some of the equipment is, most of it in fact, is used for hydroponic sustainment. There are a few bits of computer technology used for analysis, and there is like an old broken microscope, slides, standard laboratory equipment, all once again in various state of disrepair. In fact, the room itself has a very musky smell to it, as if a place that's been shut away for a long time with little to no ventilation.
Huh.
Yeah. Sidon goes to you. Well, it is a fixer-upper.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot to fix up.
Although, I have to say, and he points to 2 pieces of lab equipment in the far corner that look like they've sustained the least amount of damage. It's good that this was hidden away. A lot of people here are pretty crafty. You're lucky that those weren't stripped for parts.
And Patrick is going to wander over there and take a closer look at the equipment.
Okay. So the 2 functioning pieces of lab equipment. The first one seems to be a a machine that's used for I'm just trying to think of the right word for it. Drawing out nutrients from certain elements or certain substances, and used to infuse them to the. It's to extract nutrients so the hydroponic plants can feed from them, for lack of a better word. So I guess I could say a nutrient extractor.
Okay.
That one's completely functioning. The other one seems to be a botany. Oh my god, I have the word right at the top of my head, and then I threw in the word botany, and I fucked myself up. It's a propagator. So a lot of plants, of course, in order to propagate, they either require seeds, or you need to what's the term? It's like shear off a certain portion of it and have it kind of regrow.
Okay.
And that's what that kind of machine does. It aids in that, allowing a plant to propagate a lot more quickly, for lack of a better word. I'll find more technical terms for these a little bit later on, but that's the base function of the machines. A nutrient extractor and a plant propagator. There we go.
Okay.
Cuttings. You take cuttings from plants. I think that's the term. I don't know. I'm not a fucking gardener. I'm awful.
I think one of the more popular plants I have that is, of course, the bonsai tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
So he's going to turn to him and say, "Well, it's more than I expected.
That's good.
I would, of course, need parts and time, but I think I could get the essentials up and working."
Oh, great. Simon scratches his nose a little bit and he says, this type of stuff here that you're looking for, I don't know if you're going to really find an outcast station, although, I mean, there are a lot of scrap dealers here. You might get lucky and find something. But, I mean, if it were me, I'd assume some of the other stations might have more. If you're looking for new equipment, they would probably have it.
And he's gonna put a nice pat on the shoulder, and say, "I've all of my life worked with scrap. It would be a gift if I got anything higher than that."
Oh. Simon just gives a bit of an impressed little frown. There you go. Anything else you want to do there, Piffy?
No.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So August is down. I mean, August is in with you guys. No problem. How about we'll do... I'm going to say also the transport of Hannibal isn't going to be much of an issue, especially if he's unconscious. You do see him, as dogs tend to dream, moving his little paws and moving his little lips and stuff like that. It seems like he's having a very visceral, amazing dream. Probably a dream where he's in a special doggy suit of power armor and he's saving all of you.
That's great.
That's probably what he's dreaming. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Save you from the bad men. The bad men with skulls on it. Hannibal flies in and swoops in and kills them all for you. And he chases like 17 cats with his power armor. He's super happy. But other than that, it's okay. If it's okay by you, we can just say, Hannibal, thanks to your planning, as long as you eliminate a dream mushroom from your supply,
Will do.
You can get him onto the Twilight Covenant without issue. That's groovy. Mm-hmm. So then I think the last thing we need to get going before you guys head off in your ship, or in your lone ship, for lack of a better word, into the Twilight Covenant, is talk with
Blink. Yep.
Yes. So, Blink, if the last time you recall, Blink was, after your dealings with Stephen Ward, Blink stayed on with Stephen. He wanted to talk with her for a little bit, right? And that was the last time you saw her. But, Tom, you do know that she has stayed at the Black Celery Hotel. And is it just going to be you approaching her, or does anyone else want to come along with, or do you want anyone else to come along with?
Well, I was going to ask Al.
Okay.
Al would come along, sure.
Okay. So, as fortune would have it, maybe you'd have to check in a few times, but you do see Blink. She is still there at the Black Celery Inn. In fact, when you meet her, she's actually at the bar grabbing a bit of food and moving over to a free table when you encounter each other. And after a pleasant smile and a meet and greet and some small talk, the main issue is broached. And I'll leave that to you.
Mm-hmm. So, I was wondering if you would be interested in joining us.
She gives a bit of a surprised look, and she asks, well, What exactly do you mean? Do you want me to hire? You want to hire me on as a part of your crew?
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. Although we're not really, we're less of a crew and more like a family. How we're run, in a sense.
Oh, okay. Um, she pauses for a moment. I understand that mentality for sure. In fact, to be honest with you, um, down and she lowers her voice a little bit to make sure no one can eavesdrop. And she says, when we were down in L Zone Prime, Johanna, Simon, Omar, they were, a part of my family too. And it's been really strange since, really fractured. Haven't seen Johanna since, and Simon went back to Euro, and Omar's kicking around here somewhere. And to be honest, I old friends too, like Steve.
Mhm.
I knew him 15 years ago, and he was upbeat and optimistic. And I understand 15 years can change a person, but he's grown really hard, like sadistically hard. Like I don't really know him anymore. He offered
Yeah.
me a job to get on his crew too, and I told him I'd think about it.
Hmm.
But she says, I hate to bring up things, but I mean, family pay doesn't pay any, currency, any ice.
Yeah, I know. How we kind of run things is we have one big group fund, and if you want something from there, you just ask, and we'll probably try and get it for you. But if you do join us, you can leave at any time,
Yeah.
and we will make sure that you are able to leave with at least a good amount of money.
Okay.
Speaking of which, we did meet Johanna. She's
Oh. Her eyes light up immediately.
yeah. Actually, for the last few days, right after we completed our last mission, we were whisked away to the guy that funded your last big huge venture.
Her eyes widen even more. Wait, you got in touch with the network?
Mm-hmm. The Baron specifically.
And Johanna was with them?
Yes. She's not doing very well. She's not readjusting very well up
What
here.
do you mean?
Al,
Like, is she...
Al will gently slide in and say she didn't cope with the change in gravity well. Her body did not. She's headed back to Eurostation. Full recovery is expected, but it'll take some time.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. And then she pauses for a moment. Then I guess this might lead into the only other question I got for you, as her tail flicks back and forth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of work are you guys into? What do you plan on doing are you just planning on doing stuff for Steve, or are you going to break out on your own?
Well, we might do a couple of jobs for Steve, but we got a big, huge offer from the big guy. If we were to do one job for him, he might be willing to not only buy out our contract with the Twilight Covenant, but also make us a ship from scratch to our specifications.
She
along with
pauses
a bunch
for
of
a
ice.
Okay. She pauses for a moment. She takes a few bites of her food, and she says, "What do you guys know about the network?"
Not much, to be honest.
I see. She says, "Down on Earth, were there any groups that you know of that would go beyond the law, or stretch the law, or break the law if it served their interests?"
We're very acquainted with groups like that.
I see, she says. Yeah, the network is a bunch of those guys working together. Now, at one time they used to run Outcast Station for a while, but frankly, if it's anything illegal, they like to hold the market on that. So, I'm not entirely against it. After all, it was illegal to go down into Earth, and they were the only chance that we had. So I understand that it can be used for better purposes, but I've also heard, as much as good stuff I've heard, or I've experienced, you hear a lot of horror stories too about people crossing the network. People trying to steal from them, or people trying to cross them, or getting in the wrong way. And if you're dealing with, I'm assuming you mean the Baron.
Yeah.
She gulps a little bit. You might be in over your head a little bit. Tell you what. I'm interested. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to get out of Outcast Station, and the last few jobs I've been offered aren't gonna get me off any faster. I'll join in for a little bit, but I definitely reserve the right to get the hell out the second I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, of course. And we can explain more of what our plan is and what's probably going to be going down back on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Al would lean forward and say, to put it as plainly as possible, we are pretty much in reversed roles at the moment. We don't, and he kind of lowers his voice, know anything about this place. And you're good in a fight, you get along well with Tom, and the honest truth is we could use someone in our corner that can tell us where not to step.
Yeah.
Okay, she says. Can do.
Out of curiosity, the Baron. Well, maybe such talk could be left for later, but we can at least assure you that if you ever feel like this is not something you're comfortable with, we're never going to stop you from leaving.
She nods, and she says, I still have to finish my meal. If you want to ask me what I know about the Baron and the network, might as well start now.
Well, my biggest concern is the Baron really wants some information we have, and I mean he really wants it. Now, he's assured us till he's blue in the face that he would never become violent or too aggressive to get such things. Would this be your experience as well?
She pauses for a moment, and she says, I guess to answer your question, it'd probably be a little bit of a story. Now, this is all just rumor on my end, right? But a new guy on Freedom Station, he ran his own little shop, right? It was just a scrap welding business. Some guys came along, they're part of the network, and they wanted to sell him insurance to make sure no one would rip him off, make sure no pirates would try to steal his goods, make sure no one would try to rip him off. He agreed to it for a while, but then the prices got a little too expensive. They wanted a cut of his shop. Not a very big cut, mind you, only 5%, but he was kind of stubborn. He thought if he just told them no enough times, the network would leave him alone, go to someone else. Funny thing is that 2 months later, there was a tear in his vac suit, and he suffocated. Probably a coincidence, she says, quirking an eyebrow. Fact is, if the Baron wants something really bad from you, he's gonna get it, and if he can't get it, this group is known for killing people.
Al's gonna look at Tom, and then he's going to look back to Blink, and he's going to say, I am uneasy asking someone to get their head into things that they are not fully aware of. The Baron is under the impression that we can elongate his life. And we might be able to, and we might not be able to. We're still trying to figure that part out. Obviously, you can understand how important that would be to a man like that.
She nods. Yep. I hear he's pretty old. He's been in the game for a long time.
We've tried to be very careful, and he has assured us that if we are unable to help him out, if it's beyond our powers, then we will simply go our separate ways amicably. But you should be fully aware of that.
She takes a moment. She takes a look at Tom, in particular, looks him in the eye, and then she looks back to you, Al, and she says, No, I better go with you. You need someone to look out for you, and I'd feel really bad if something happened just because you didn't know enough. I don't know the Baron. I don't know how good his word is. I just know the reputation of the network.
Al would nod and then smile and say, well, on the bright side, I can at least say with certainty that life has never been boring for us.
Yeah.
Okay. When do you plan on taking off? I'm assuming you're in the Twilight Covenant.
Yeah. We're planning on leaving. Well, we've got pretty much everything that we need. But we have about 3 days left on our docking fee.
All right. Well, I can get my stuff ready to go in the morning. Just tie up a few loose ends here, and I'll be ready to go. Should I meet you? And then we can say you arranged to meet her at the docking area.
Yeah.
At X time before you guys head out. Groovy. Well then, I'm gonna use the washroom, and then I'll be right back. We can take a general bathroom break if people need it.
I do.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Time to pee. Okay. Later.
Time? Oh boy.
Pee time, yay!
I actually stepped
Well-
out like a minute ago to get some more Halloween candies.
You know, I actually don't have any more Halloween candies left.
Oh no.
My mom and I ate them like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
No.
Halloween wasn't 2 weeks ago, Burn.
I know.
Then
We
it's not
got it like
Halloween
a month
candy. It's
ago.
normal ass candy that's really small for no reason.
Yeah, but it it is really small, and it's on sale too. But she's not here, and we can't get more because she's on the mainland, visiting my uncle for possibly the last time. Hopefully not, but hey, yeah.
Think back to your mind just a few seconds ago when you said discount candy and just focus on
Yes, discount candy. Yeah.
Yeah, for everybody who doesn't know, friggin' like the next day or like the next 2 weeks, there's going to be hyper sales on like Halloween candies because they.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hello.
It's gonna be nuts. Hello.
Hello. So my reaction to our conversation. Well, shit. What the fuck did we get into?
You got into the network and Baron Dioxin. That's what you got into.
My
Is,
day's been great.
Talking to the chat.
Yes.
Not everyone's back yet, right?
Yeah.
No.
There's so
In
people.
fact, I was keeping Piff company, so I will be right back.
Oh, okay. Now I'm here for you, Piff.
Sweet.
Sweet. Yeah, sorry I don't know the technical terms for laboratory equipment. I'll have to do some more research on that. But I figured letting you know the base function of them. Does that wet your whistle for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I would. If I probably will when I actually get that thing semi-running.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'll do more research on hydroponics and whatnot. I'm sure if anyone looks at my Google history, they're probably going to think I grow weed with all my research in hydroponics. But fuck it. I gotta the sacrifices for me for this campaign.
Oh boy, it looks like maybe Burn has. Wait, oh, it's back. Okay. There's a small freak out in the chat of the stream going down.
Well, Burn's not streaming. It's Squee.
Oh, Squee. Small freak out that Squee's not streaming.
It was probably just a blip.
Yeah. You're probably just a bit.
Don't blame me.
What?
Burn, you're doing
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Funny.
I know it's probably not feasible, but ease in a hydroponics type of thing would be fantastic.
Yeah.
The plants grow a lot better because they would be cross-pollinated a lot easier. You wouldn't have to go and pollinate manually.
True, but that is an environment where there's soil and earth where the plants can propagate without problems, right? With hydroponics, you pretty much have to control when and where they grow because there's not just a bunch of soil they can spread out into.
True. Very true.
Although I'll have to look into that as well.
Yeah. I'm not saying as in you should fucking do it. I'm just agreeing.
I know, homie.
Yeah.
I know.
I got Halloween candies.
Oh, lucky ducky.
Yeah. I really did like the TI stream. It was great. I liked how it continued off of the last stream where Squee and I were in it. And in fact, the fact that we were in it and did a certain thing created the entire stream.
Oh, were we in it? What are we talking about?
Yesterday's
intent.
TI stream. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't really want to go too spoilery, but remember that last action that we did at the very end of the last stream that we were in?
Yes!
Yeah.
Our joint action?
Yeah.
I got cake.
Because of that,
Mm-hmm.
because of that, this entire stream was dedicated to just what happened after that.
Oh my god. Yay!
So good.
I love
All
our
right.
characters. Alright, yes, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're all back is all. So I say we get back into it if that's okay with everyone. I know
Yes.
Criana's probably
Yeah.
shoving cake in her mouth, but I'm going to assume.
I didn't get cake, but I did get barbecue.
Well, everyone has their own thing. Oh,
It's so fucking good.
damn it.
Oh my God.
I need to know what kind of cake it is before we continue.
Okay, so my sister made it.
Sister cake?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Get this. She made this, okay? So it's chocolate cake,
Mm-hmm.
and then she has peanut butter icing on it, and then she sprinkled it with M&Ms
Oh my
and
god.
chocolate.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it's basically like, you want to OD on something delicious, here you go.
Oh, wow. I regret asking.
Mm,
Because
no.
I'm
My
super
teeth
jelly.
ache. My teeth ache because of that.
Yeah.
My God.
I have a major sweet tooth. I can handle it.
No.
I
Anyways,
can handle it.
Turns
But
out.
yeah, it's a lot of sugar.
Oh, did I ever tell you guys? Turns out I'm a super taster, so I love sweets. Apparently.
How'd you figure this out? Did you get hit by a meteorite?
No. There's a test that you can take for it. But basically,
Gotcha.
I supposedly have 25% more taste buds than the average person, which is why I can't stand alcohol. Most super tasters cannot stand alcohol, so it makes perfect sense.
Well, I think that's enough digressions with the cake and the super tasting. So let's say, so you're all aboard the Twilight Covenant. Alicia gets strapped into the pilot's compartment, making sure that she is fast in her place, and assuring you that while she's at least seated, the gravity shouldn't affect her all that much, she hopes. And actually, let's do this. This is the first time she's actually had to. Great. And with cool confidence, she's able to guide the Twilight Covenant out of the cluttered and anarchistic docking bay and back into space itself. And she asks you what trajectory you guys would like to take. So I'll give you just a brief reminder. Okay. Baron Dioxin's ship, you do have the coordinates for that, of course, right? Its last location was just nearby the moon, and it's about 15 hours away. In addition, you're due to get to Freedom Station in 4 days or earlier, so you can not only check in with Stephen Ward, but also get install the gravity generator that was agreed upon.
Yeah.
So, but other than those two little tidbits of information, space lies before ye. What do you guys want to do?
Space.
Spice.
The final frontier. These are the voyages. Of the
Yes,
stupid
I
things
think a
from Red.
5-year mission to find new planets is what's called for here.
To boldly go. Where no bald man has gone before. Okay, please continue.
I honestly, my first priority, I think, would be getting gravity in the ship and checking in with Steve Ward.
Yeah. Probably. But, how long will it take to go to Freedom Station from here?
Alicia checks the navigation computers and she says, I'm not too sure how new this data is, but as Inferno looks it up, give me a moment.
I just need to know if it's going to be more than a day.
To boldly
Might be.
go. Where no man, woman,
Or
space
child.
dog
Space dog.
has gone before.
Here it is.
Da,
Okay.
da, da, da,
Oh.
da.
You'll have to go. It's on the other side of Earth. You guys. Okay, the good news is that you're in range. Because the range of your ship is 300,000 miles. So that's good. So you can go Mach 2, which is like 1320 miles per hour. So let me just figure out how many thousands of miles you are from Freedom Station here. I'm eyeballing this. I don't care. It'll take you about a day and a half.
Okay.
And 24 plus 12 times 12, 30, 44. Yeah, it's about 50,000. Yeah, you're lucky. Right now, you're in a point where both the orbits are pretty close to each other, in fact. You're only about 50,000 kilometers away. So when you get to Freedom Station, you'll probably want to earmark that you have, I don't know, 250,000 out of 300,000, I guess, units of fuel or something like that. That's what we'll determine.
Okay.
So yeah. But it'll take about a day and a half.
All right, sounds good. So, I would like to say on the trip, we get Hannibal into the Golden Room, please, if at all possible. Piff?
You go, Piff.
Okay. Just so you know, he's not gonna have any company there.
Yeah.
There is. We can put food there.
Mm-hmm.
There is no place for him to
Do his doggy business.
do his doggy business. I don't think there was ever a time that he
Even
said
more than that, I was thinking when dogs get bored, they tend to chew and destroy things, and all of our valuable stuff is in there with no supervision.
There's
Yeah,
that.
but the Golden Place is like a house, correct?
Yeah. Last thing about that. The front door is always open.
Okay, so
If he wants to
we
leave,
can't go to Freedom Station then. We can't go to Freedom Station then.
Why?
Why?
Because we have a dog,
In a ship
they're
that
going to
no
be-
one's... Oh, no, I
they're
understand.
going to be if we want the gravity generator to be put in, they're going to be working on the ship and they're going to find him.
Right,
probably.
no, that's very simple. When we get to Freedom Station, Al will be happy to do it. Someone goes in there with Hannibal and stays with Hannibal for the duration.
day.
Yeah, for the day.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll do it.
I personally
Okay.
think when we're in space, let's keep Hannibal in the ship because if nothing else, I mean, we all like Hannibal. We don't want him to be by himself. And as long as we use the Golden Room as little as possible so that it's always there and ready, we're going to see anyone coming a mile away and have time to get him in there if we need to.
Okay.
Sure. Alright.
So interesting a thing about Hannibal in space is that right now you don't have gravity generators. So at the first few hours, he's quite distressed about floating in the air without doing anything. Little doggy urine trail from time to time, but eventually, due to any sort of reassurance by you, or maybe even jury rigging like a tiny little doggy harness so he doesn't float away anywhere, he does calm down afterwards.
Yeah, I'll spend as much time as I can just trying to ease him and pet him and all of that.
Okie dokie. Anywho, there is one major scene I have in mind, of course, as y'all are flying towards Freedom Station. Before I do that, though, I want to give you guys the right of way. Is there anything you guys will want to do? Anything you want to role play? Blake is on board, of course, with you. And in another interesting feature too, I might add, is that custom kind of cooling unit for those harnesses in the cargo section of the ship are still there. They were never uninstalled or anything like that. So that's another feature I might not have included in your ship description.
Sweet.
I have a small interaction I'd like to do with Alicia.
Oh, okie dokie.
Al would probably try and choose a time as early as possible where there's not a whole bunch of people around.
Okay.
And he would basically he'd go up to Alicia and he'd be like, I know you're handling things well, and I try not to worry about you too much.
As well as I can. She admits.
Al nods and he goes, I can give you a few tips that will help. But, I mean, won't cure anything. And he'll start kind of showing that there's some pressure points that she can press, or the idea of looking at a fixed spot. Sometimes laying down can help. Like little tips and ideas that would help motion sickness as much as it can without, short of medication.
Gotcha. She listens, and she says that she'll do her best to remember. But then she gives a bit of a sarcastic smile. But you know what? I think I know the surefire cure.
Oh?
Yeah. Installing that goddamn anti-grav generator. And she laughs.
Al nods and he's like, yes, that is one hell of
It's
a
a
cure.
surefire cure. That is, I think that might just do it, Doc.
Al gives her like a little punch in the shoulder and then just starts going on his way.
Okay. So, sorry. Anything else from anybody else?
I think during the day and a half, if she is inquisitive, Tom will explain like what the general plan is with Tyrath and the whole shebang-a-bang.
See, now this is the important thing. You just hit the nail on the head there, Burn.
Yeah.
Neither Blink nor August. Wait, has August seen Tyrath?
August has seen Tyrath. Actually.
August has seen Tyrath. Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure. Oh yeah, I remember now. He had his reaction. That's right. He found it very, very improbable. Okay, so you're going to tell Blink about Tyrath beforehand.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good call. That's a good call. So she's able to brace herself. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just say we'll talk in general in regards to this, of course. She finds it hard to believe, but she takes your word for it. Now, she's not so incredulous or skeptical because she has been on Earth, and she has, especially on scouting missions and other tales from other passersby, she has definitely seen some peculiar things. But she doesn't have a lot of follow-up questions in regards to Tyrath. Her biggest question is, is he dangerous?
Not really. I mean, if he really wanted to harm us, he could have just done it a long time ago. He doesn't seem too dangerous to us.
She takes a pause, and then she confesses to you in private, with a being like that, I'm not so surprised why you weren't too worried about the Baron. It seems like you've dealt with powerful individuals before.
Yeah, we actually, how we met him was we went through a temple where there was a big, huge lizard on, like, engraved into the walls and everything. We found a staff, and then lo and behold, he appears. And we gave him the staff, and we became friends. He was kind of worshipped as a god, and kind of transcends time and space.
Kind of?
Yeah. So that's
kind of does that. Okay.
That's kind of why we're not as worried about the Baron.
Because you have bigger things to worry about.
We got a god on our side. Maybe. We're partners.
In a way.
Yeah.
Sorry, anything else there, Tom?
No, I think that's it.
That's cool. That's awesome. Criana, I saw you unmute for a moment. Was there anything you would like to chip in?
I was unmuting to say no, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, that's very kind.
So, no, I don't have anything.
Well, now that it's official. Pipsqueak?
No, I'm a little sad as a player, only because meeting Tyrath for the first time has become like a rite of passage for our group members.
You're part of the group. Here comes Tyrath.
Yeah, well...
I like how I gave Tyrath a plain sound for some reason.
I also like how Tom might be writing checks we might not be able to cash. On our side, that's strong language, but maybe.
So...
But no, I'm good.
Okay. So... About 5 hours into your journey towards Freedom Station, Alicia lets you know that some of the readouts, a lot of the sensors, are acting really, really weird. But after a few... She's only able to spit out a few words in alarm and concern before all of you feel an electric feeling. All the hairs on the back of your neck and on your arms and on your legs begin to stand up. That metallic ozone smell can be smelled throughout the entire ship. Blink is concerned that something's going wrong with the power supply. When, in the middle of the cargo area, materializes a certain lizard mage. His robes flow around him in a strange zero-gravity way, and as he floats there, his first words are,
Al says, "I'm sorry there's no table this time."
That's him, guys. That's him. That's Tyrath.
You hear a slow rumbling humming as the lizard mage, Tyrath the Undying, gestures wildly and says words in an old, forgotten, unrecognizable tongue. And soon a shimmering orb that has a slight yellow tinge appears around him as he floats gently to the ground. Still covered in this off-yellow light, he takes a look around and he says, I sensed you were in a very different location. Very interesting, mortals, that you have left your homeworld. But that is not why I am here. He points a clawed finger over at Patrick. The kinsman reached his mind out to me and asked for a favor to extend on to another. After contemplation, I have determined a suitable exchange of my boon for your task. His reptilian neck swivels around as his piercing eyes look to each and every single one of you as he continues. Your Earth is not the only planet within this system that harbors ley lines of energy. In fact, a neighboring red planet with the name of an old god also has such energy, although not nearly as strong, powerful, or plentiful as on Earth. I have heard and perhaps even seen some strange occurrences upon this planet. It is its creatures upon it which currently strike my interest and becomes congruent with the work I am currently doing. Upon this planet are strange insect-like creatures. I would like to examine them. My request is simple. I wish for you to capture, unharmed and uninjured, perfectly healthy and alive, 6 insectoid specimens. 3 pairs. I do not care exactly what specific species they are, nor do I care if they are male or female.
I see. So sorry. So that we're absolutely clear. 3 pairs of any species on Mars, perfectly alive and unharmed.
Correct. And he pauses for a moment. Human. He steps over to where you are either floating or harnessed. I'm going to assume harnessed. And he says, it has been quite a bit of time in your life since the transference has happened. Any further peculiar side effects?
No, just Just a longing for the forest, Al says, looking a little confused.
Tyrath gives a slivery smile. You might find something to your liking on that planet then. He swivels his head over to Tom. And you, human? Side effects of your body.
I seem to have a shorter temper.
Interesting. I might have to examine you further when I have more time. So, my request is you retrieve these specimens for me and communicate once they are within your grasp. My only last request is that you do not bother me or communicate with me until the task is complete. I am in the middle of a very important exploration, and I would like to limit my disturbances. Is this, as you would say, fair?
Sounds good to me.
Al would nod.
Good. He pauses for a few seconds, allowing any questions to be shot his way.
Just to make sure these... Sorry. Go ahead.
How are you doing, Tyrath?
He looks over towards Mila and he says, I am growing ever closer to things I seek.
That's wonderful, Tyrath. I'm happy for you.
Happiness, quaint.
Hey. She kind of just is confused, but doesn't question it.
Okay. Tom?
Just to make sure these are insectoid life forms that you are requiring, correct?
Yes, but I assure you, you will find no other life upon that planet to confuse my instructions.
Tom will just nod.
Anybody else? Going once? Going twice?
Actually, I have one more question.
Uh-huh.
How is that Splagorth staff serving you?
He pauses for a moment and he says, it proved its use.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Glad. Quaint. And, with nothing else, asked upon the mighty Tyrath the Undying, Tyrath the Immortal, he disappears as fast as he appeared.
Al kind of sighs and says, is anyone else noticing a pattern? Every time Tyrath asks us to do something, there's some insectoid-like monster involved.
Actually, yeah. Now that you point it out, kinda. Dude must really like bugs.
Yeah.
Well, kinda. I'm quite sure the first time that we got his attention, there was no bugs involved.
Unless he considers a changeling a bug. I mean, it could be.
So, looking around, you can see Blink, harnessed, her eyes incredibly wide, her tail as stiff as a piece of wire. As she whispers, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" And then, after a long pause, "You're going to the bug planet?"
Al, suddenly realizing that they've been talking about Tyrath and bugs and changelings as if it's nothing in front of her, goes, yes, it would seem that we are.
No, 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 you don't understand. That's Mars. That is a long ways away. She pauses for a moment. She says, this ship, it goes, what, Mach 2 with these chemical engines?
Mm-hmm.
It'll take 3.5 years.
Al goes, but we know someone who's very, very well-to-do and very invested that we find these things on Mars.
Right. We just
She
need
said-
to get in contact with him.
She pauses for a moment and she says, no, you don't understand. That place used to have a colony on it, and now it's just a bunch of bugs. People have tried to land on there to salvage stuff, and most of them don't come back. And some of them come back with tails of beetles 20 feet tall. That's a fucking suicide mission. You can't seriously be considering this.
Al's thinking back to the things they faced and going, not
Oh
physically.
my gosh! Didn't we fight one of the thing? How big was the last beetle that we
The
fought?
fire beetle?
Yeah.
Fury Beetle
Fury
was
Beetle.
actually bigger than 20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Fury Beetle-
No, it was about... Actually, wait. You guys continue to talk and roleplay. I'm going to look up the stats of the Fury
I could have
Beetle.
sworn it was like 60 feet.
My God, no! We're saying this in character. I don't know, Patrick.
Yeah, we're
was
saying
that,
this in character.
That was probably more
What
than
was-
20 feet.
As God beams into your brains.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick's just like doing the calculations. Like, I said, okay, we got 300 hide scales, and they were 5.
And I'll be
maybe that
honest
was
with
nine.
you. I mean, Fury beetles are 20-foot beetles are nothing to mess with, but they're certainly not Zydakicks. I'd take a Fury beetle over a Zydakick.
Oh, jeez, sidekicks.
Yeah. Or even those things that we fought that would come back to life after they died. The thing Tyrath had us dealing
Max
with last
Parry's.
Well,
Max Parry's,
I don't know
yeah.
if Al knew what they were called.
Fury Beetles are, 20 feet tall.
So I just had this image that
Oh,
after
so
she
those
says
things.
that, Patrick, Al, and Tom start conversing again. Like, well, did it with Fury beetles? Yeah, they were about that big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as
and
they're
they-
having that conversation, Mila's just like, la 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 la, just like singing a song, making the crazy atmosphere even crazier.
This is not making Blink any happier.
La la la.
Nina Blanco is not happy.
Al, noticing how unhappy she is, Al says, "Look, I understand, and we don't by any means mean to make light of your advice. As I said, you know this area, we don't, but we're not strangers to difficult prey."
She doesn't say anything in reply. Roll me a D100, Al.
Alrighty.
She doesn't say anything for a little while, unless she's directly asked anything. But she definitely seems very lost in thought.
All right. Are you okay?
No, not really, she says. A big lizard thing materialized, gave you, in my eyes, one of the most impossible things to do, and none of you are disturbed at it at all. I don't know whether is it because I underestimated you, or you're just so unaware of what's happening. I don't know what's ignorance, and I don't know what's confidence. And frankly, I don't know if I want to stay on here or if I want to get off on Freedom Station the first chance we get.
Yeah. If you want to get off on Freedom Station, that's completely up to you. But we've been in hairy situations. I kind of wish that we still had our armor back from Earth, especially that set of mystic power armor.
Yeah, but come on, Tom. You couldn't. You'd have to be a recluse the entire time. You can go. You couldn't go to any of the major stations except for Outcast.
Yeah. Exactly.
As we said when we talked to you, of course, we would never keep you past if you felt uncomfortable, but I truly mean what I say when I say that we have dealt with things far worse than 20-foot beetles. At least the ones that are on Earth.
Okay. She says, I still like some time to think about it myself, suss things out in my brain.
Of course.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Take your time.
Okay.
And then Al will say to the others, we would definitely have to get the Baron's help in this. Not only would we need help to getting to Mars, but we'd need some way of capturing these things.
Yeah. Definitely. And also we will probably need some heavier gear.
Yes. Al looks at his SDC clothing and says, I'm kind of growing fond of it, but not exactly beetle-proof.
Honestly, if we were able to get our hands on some sets of power armor and maybe a set of glitter bar armor for Blink if she sticks around, we would probably be set.
Al raises an eyebrow.
think.
Or an equivalent. I doubt there's actually Glitter Boy
Or an
armor up here. Though, if there is, he would probably have it.
Janina would pipe up. KLS Corporation creates what you call glitter boy armor, what we simply called armor power suits up here. In fact, their models are more advanced than what was found on Earth. How do you think I knew how to pilot them?
Tom will just shrug. I don't know.
Good point.
I guess 15 years I could have taught myself, but no, Freedom Station manufactures those. They're not cheap, though.
Well,
the Baron does have a lot of money.
at the very least, Blink, if it helps set you at ease, we don't intend on doing anything without finding as much about this as possible.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we're probably not going to be doing it immediately. We still need to make sure to do at least one mission with... I can never remember his name. Steve,
Ward.
yes, Steve Ward.
Stephen Ward. Yeah. She goes, okay, then I won't jettison off your ship just yet.
Yeah. But that's the long-term goal. See, well, actually, would Patrick have explained that time moves slowly for Tyraf in his place?
I don't think he would have mentioned it.
Ah,
And there you go.
okay, never mind then.
All right. So then, our next... I don't want to cut this short. Is there anything else you guys want to roleplay? Because I'm honestly thinking of just speeding it on ahead for you guys getting to Freedom Station.
Sure.
Okay. So let me just get my shit together here real quick. Sorry guys, one last thing I'm just taking a peek at.
No worries.
Did you hear the scrolling dice? Dice. Scrolling mouse. Sing it, Criana.
I'm sorry for Inferno. Gonna swing from the chandelier. From the chandelier. Mila's the best singer, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you do have that skill for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Note to
However,
self, do not install
yeah,
chandelier on
yeah.
ship.
Okay. So I'm just looking for a description here, because I'm just refreshing it exactly what good old Freedom Station looks like from the exterior, since it's the first time. So, you know how first impressions are important, right?
I have heard this, yes. Al is horrible at making them.
Ow.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I guess.